Turkey is planning to build a $20 billion canal through Istanbul, a bold move to redirect nearly $500 billion in annual trade away from the Bosphorus Strait. Backed by the government as a game-changing megaproject, the Istanbul Canal could give Turkey control over one of the world's busiest maritime routes, create a new artificial island in the heart of Istanbul, and even challenge the global balance of power in the Black Sea. But why spend so much, take such risks, and potentially destroy the historic Bosphorus? In this video, we uncover the real reasons behind Turkey's ambition to kill the old strait and replace it with something entirely new. And that's not all. We'll also reveal Norway's jaw-dropping plan to build a 1,121-kilometer underwater highway that's unlike anything the world has ever seen. Istanbul, one of the world's most historically significant cities, spans two continents, Europe and Asia. With a population exceeding 15 million people, it is the seventh largest city in Asia and the largest in Europe. Known as the former capital of three great empires, Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman, Istanbul is steeped in history. Today, nearly 20% of Turkey's population lives in this vibrant metropolis, making it a cultural and economic hub. In recent years, the Turkish government has launched an ambitious project to further elevate Istanbul's status: the construction of the Istanbul Canal. This canal will effectively transform the city into an island, with the goal of reducing congestion, boosting international trade, and redirecting dangerous cargo away from densely populated areas. With the canal, Turkey aims to leverage its strategic location and generate substantial revenue from tolls and shipping fees. Civilian ships have been passing through the Bosphorus free of charge since the year 1936, but this project will change that dynamic. The Istanbul Canal is projected to cost $15 billion, a substantial investment. However, Turkey expects to earn up to $8 billion annually from tolls and associated revenues, which is 30% more than Egypt earns from the Suez Canal. This revenue will not only pay off the project's costs, but also serve as a major source of income for the country. The canal will also solidify Turkey's position as a key player in global shipping, enhancing its strategic and economic influence. Istanbul's unique importance comes from its proximity to the Bosphorus Strait, a narrow waterway that divides Europe and Asia, while connecting the Black Sea to the Aegean and Mediterranean seas. The Bosphorus is the only navigational route for countries like Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, and Georgia to access the Mediterranean, making it a critical maritime passage. Furthermore, the Bosphorus is vital for many other nations. The Danube, Europe's second longest river, flows through several major cities such as Vienna, Bratislava, Budapest, and Belgrade, before linking up with the Rhine River and Rotterdam, Europe's largest port. In the year 1994, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea was adopted, outlining the legal framework for maritime activities worldwide. However, Turkey and the United States are notable exceptions, as neither has signed the treaty. Turkey's refusal is largely due to the potential implications for the Aegean Sea, where signing the treaty would result in ceding much of its territorial waters to Greece. To bypass the restrictions of the Montreux Convention, Turkey has proposed constructing an artificial canal alongside the Bosphorus. This alternative route would allow Turkey to impose tolls on commercial ships, potentially generating billions of dollars in revenue annually. Furthermore, this canal would enable North Atlantic Treaty Organization military ships, including aircraft carriers and submarines, to access the Black Sea, an advantage not available under the current Montreux Agreement. Under the Montreux Convention of the year 1936, civilian and commercial ships have the right to freely navigate the Bosphorus during both peace and wartime. However, this agreement also places strict limitations on military vessels. For instance, no more than 9 foreign military ships can pass through the strait at one time, and they must have a combined weight of less than 15,000 tons. While these regulations helped keep Turkey neutral during World War II, tensions have arisen in the decades since. After World War II, the Soviet Union demanded joint control over the Bosphorus and insisted on a permanent military presence, but Turkey refused. In response, Turkey joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in the year 1952, a move that angered the Soviets but strengthen Turkey's strategic alliance with the West. Today, the United States is also dissatisfied with the Montreux Convention, as it restricts United States military vessels from passing through the strait. The Istanbul Canal project officially began in March 2021. It is set to be located 30 kilometers west of the Bosphorus, on the European side of Turkey, and will stretch 45 kilometers. Initially slated for completion by the year 2023, the project has been delayed and is now expected to be finalized by the year 2027. One of the canal's key benefits will be reducing the traffic bottlenecks in the Bosphorus, where ships often wait an average of 14 hours, and sometimes days, to pass through. The new canal will be able to handle up to 160 ships daily, significantly improving efficiency and cutting down on wait times. In addition, it will provide a safer route for transporting hazardous materials such as oils, munitions, and chemicals, which currently pass dangerously close to Istanbul's 15 million residents. By diverting this cargo away from densely populated areas, the canal will enhance both environmental safety and public health. Alongside the canal, Turkey plans to develop luxury real estate and bolster logistics around Istanbul's new airport, which is expected to become the world's largest, with a capacity of 200 million passengers per year. On Norway's western coastline, the new underwater highway will navigate through more than 1,000 spectacular fjords, narrow, scenic inlets surrounded by towering cliffs. These fjords, listed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, are renowned for their natural beauty and attract both locals and travelers from all corners of the globe. However, the very landscapes that make Norway so picturesque also complicate life for drivers. The country's unpredictable weather, with its icy winds, mountain switchbacks, snow, and ice, make traveling across Norway particularly challenging, especially in the winter months. The idea behind this underwater road is to drastically improve connectivity, simplifying travel between Norway's iconic fjords and coastal cities. The new highway will be an engineering marvel, expected to greatly reduce travel times and enhance safety for residents and tourists alike. Currently, traveling from Kristiansand in the south to Trondheim in the north, a journey spanning over 1,000 kilometers, takes a grueling 21 hours. Furthermore, those wanting to take in the breathtaking scenery must endure at least 7 ferry crossings. To solve this, Norway has opted to build an underwater tunnel that will allow travelers to complete the same 1,000-kilometer route in a fraction of the time. The first phase of construction commenced in December 2017. The new route will not be entirely underwater. In some parts, small bridges will be constructed, and existing road sections will be upgraded to cut costs. This hybrid approach reflects a balance between innovation and practicality, ensuring that the project is both efficient and financially sustainable. If the testing phase goes as planned and the project moves forward, it is expected to be fully operational by the year 2035. As part of this monumental project, engineers are also building the world's deepest and longest rock tunnel, which will be drilled through the seabed at a depth of 392 meters and extend for 27 kilometers. This awe-inspiring feat of engineering could also serve as a major tourist attraction, with travelers eager to experience Norway's cutting-edge infrastructure firsthand. Norway's vision for underwater transportation marks a turning point in how we think about roads and travel. However, building floating tunnels comes with significant risks, such as explosions, fires, and structural overloads. Engineers are conducting comprehensive tests to assess the performance of the concrete tubes under various extreme conditions, including explosive scenarios. These trials will determine how well the tunnel structure can handle internal explosions, like what might happen if a truck carrying hazardous materials were to detonate inside. Developers are cautiously optimistic, speculating that the constant water pressure surrounding the tunnels could counterbalance the blast energy, preventing the structure from collapsing. They are also investigating the potential consequences of a submarine colliding with the tunnel, as well as other possible accidents. Norwegian engineers are working with experts from around the world to assess every possible risk, ensuring that safety remains a top priority. Although there is still a chance that something could go wrong, these meticulous preparations aim to minimize all potential dangers. The road will be built atop a stone foundation located beneath the sea, at a staggering depth of 392 meters. But that's not all. The project also involves creating floating tunnels, suspended 30 meters below the water's surface. Should this ambitious endeavor succeed, Norway will likely outpace countries such as China, South Korea, and Italy, who are still developing similar projects. This forward-thinking infrastructure plan represents a giant leap in overcoming geographical limitations through innovation. Norway's experience with tunnel construction and extreme weather conditions positions the country well to take on such a bold initiative. Now let's take a closer look at the technological innovations making this project possible. As mentioned earlier, the underwater highway will feature floating tunnels that will rest in the fjords, submerged at a depth of about 30 meters. These floating tunnels will consist of 2 concrete tubes, with one designated for each traffic direction. Each tunnel will be securely anchored with durable cables, which will either be fastened to the seabed or to massive pontoons floating on the water's surface. To minimize interference with maritime traffic, these pontoons will be widely spaced. The design is based on the fact that waves and water currents at a depth of 30 meters are significantly less intense than those on the surface, ensuring smoother and faster travel for vehicles. Moreover, by being submerged, the floating tunnels will have a far smaller environmental footprint compared to traditional bridges. The majority of the infrastructure will remain out of sight, preserving the landscape's natural beauty. The project will not only revolutionize transportation, but also set a precedent for eco-friendly infrastructure development worldwide. Let us know which megaproject amazed you the most. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to check out our previous videos. See you next time.